You know what it is, don't you? It's another year. It's the year 2024. That means season 16 of All for Adventure is going to start this year. I've got to start filming the new season of All for Adventure, and in order to do that, I've got to get vehicles ready. Now, I've got to build a couple of new vehicles this year, and I'm going to revamp the existing vehicles. Now, one of those vehicles is my 300 Landcruiser, so the creative conversion Landcruiser. Now, it's already done one season, and it performed really, really well. Jase drove it for half the season, I drove it for the other half, and I'll tell you what, I was pleasantly surprised at how much better they are than the 200 Series Landcruiser. Now, the whole time it was stock standard, okay? So it's a stock engine, I put stock wheels on it, stock tires, no real massive off-road modification. So even the suspension lift was quite mild. So I'm thinking, you know what? If I'm gonna really get a comparison and really get the feel of how much better the 300 is compared to the 200, then I've got to basically bomb it like I did the 200. Now the 200 has 35s, it's got a pretty serious tune, mate, and that thing is a V8 diesel, and it's an animal. It is an animal, there's no doubt about it. It has served me well over the years and over the series of filming All for Adventure, towing big heavy loads. So there you go, guys. To start the series off and the rig builds, I've got to head to Just Autos. Now, which way are we got to go here? Oh, I think I can get down that way. I might turn right here. I think I'm a little bit lost. I always get lost when I come to Nambour. How you going, mate? What's happening? The guy? See ya. I bet you expect to see me again, wouldn't you?
Always, mate. Always.
Yeah, I haven't told Matt yet. There
hey,
he
mate.
is.
How you going?
Oh, I didn't get an appointment or anything. I just rocked up and went, you know what? I bet you'll see me here again.
Yeah, I'll see you come
week.
in. Yeah. So what's that? 300? Yep.
You know, I don't even have to tell you what I want.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know what I want, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. You want power. So, no, that's cool. Leave it with us. We'll make our booking and we'll get it sorted, and I'll just work with
fit me in?
and we'll go. Yeah, we'll make it work, mate.
Yeah, see, so as soon as we're out in the field, and of course you did all that, you know, the work to my wagon, and the wagon's now an absolute weapon of mass destruction. And now I'm driving this thing and I'm just like, man, we need some of that power, you know? And it's like, that's a lot heavier, that truck.
Yep.
And mate, that thing, I'm feeling like it needs a bit of action, you know, like it needs big tyres and needs some lifting. And, you know, my wagon, I look at my wagon, it's absolute animal.
Yeah, definitely is a good looking car.
Yeah.
So, no, that's cool. We'll leave it with us. We'll be able to make it go, and we'll get it on point and ready for your trips. And yeah, it'll be sweet.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Book me.
Easy.
He said it's cool.
Got you. All right, too easy. Thanks, mate.
All right, mate, no dramas. I'll leave you with it. I'm going to nick off now because I've got some other things to do, like go to the cafe, get some breakfast and some coffee, mate. You got it sorted? All right, so there you go, guys. Dropped it off to Just Autos. Matt's going to turn that thing into what the wagon should be. Okay, so that little power upgrade, well, not little, it's actually a big power upgrade. As you can see from the drag video, how much more power it actually it got. And because we got bigger tyres on it and lift kit and all that sort of stuff in full touring tune, remember that, like it's fully touring mode, the wagon, whereas this thing, it's a conversion, it's like the next level touring mode. So let's get some power into it, let's get some tyres under it. Got to talk to the boys at Outback Armour, ROH, like I said before, mate, I'm keen to see how sort of staunch this truck's going to be. All right.
This is a Creative Conversion Shop 300. It's a 20 model. We're putting our package on it, our stage 3 package. Matt is installing our heat exchanger at the moment. It's getting our Just Autos airbox in it, as well as our exhaust. And then we'll put our multi-mapping into this car. You know, it's a pretty big 300 series, as you can see. It's weighted up this thing tows. It's going to be touring at the Outback, and there's a lot of stuff they put these cars through. So just again, this is an off-the-shelf package that we have here for this car that we can put on, and we know and we're very confident in the abilities of what these cars can do. So looking forward to seeing what the season comes and what they produce and what they do with this car, but he's definitely got the right combo. I've had this car for about 3-4 days now. I've been driving it to and from home and making sure it's going to be right for his trip coming up. So Jason's about to rock in the next 20 minutes. I've just got on the dyno, just running through its paces now, just to finalise and make sure it's all good before he goes. But so far, everything's been going very smoothly. I mean, everyone by now knows that I love the 300 series, so this car is definitely going to be great for his touring setup that he's got. But basically the power increase that we've already seen has been pretty close to 100 horsepower, which is massive, and the torque's come right up as well, which makes a huge difference to how these cars drive.
Hey mate.
Hey bud.
How you going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good. Last time I was here, mate, this thing was stock.
Yeah, it was. Not now.
It's just not now.
Not now. I've been driving around the coast on it for the last 3 days.
Have ya?
Bits and pieces, yeah. So I was due for a bit. So,
what's it like? Nice truck?
Way better now. I was surprised it was a pretty big slug to start with. And the weight of this is completely different because obviously you probably got, what, another tonne in this?
Yes.
Yep, it is like heavy on the road.
Yeah.
Now it actually gets up and moves. So one of the biggest problems you have now is trying to pull up in time because you've got all this momentum now, the car, it's got all that power. So
Yeah, okay. I actually don't find it I find it quite
easy.
Yeah, I find it a lot better than the 200.
100%, but now that we've got power, it's getting that momentum up, you got to get it off as well.
Yeah, gotcha.
But yeah, no, it's good.
That's going to be even better.
Yeah, 100%.
Mate, that sounds awesome. All right, so here we are. So horsepower is being injected into this thing. First thing you've got to notice is we've got the Just Auto's little plate here, and underneath and somewhere in there is going to be where all the good stuff is. And it's not just the tune, this is the whole package. And I'll go through that in a minute. First things first, we're going to see what sort of numbers he's getting on the dyno. Remember, this is a heavier vehicle. It weighs a tonne more than a standard wagon. Remember, it's got all those GCMs and GVMs from that conversion, that creative conversion. And so to get this mass up and moving, he's got a bit of a task ahead of him, but I reckon they're pretty good at what they do here. So we're going to find out real quick how this thing goes and what sort of horsepower we can get out of it. Oh, he's just tickling it. He's just tickling it. 213. He's got more in her. Can you imagine Jase driving this thing now? He won't know what hit him. What'd we get, mate?
All right, so I ended up with 318 from 175. Obviously, this is a multi-mapping, so that's the standard tune, 175. Yeah. 318 is on our high tune. So you can see the torque's jumped up there. It's 638 newton meters from the 438. So what's
100
that?
horsepower.
Yeah, more than 100 horsepower. But that's pretty, what we tend to see is about 100 horsepower gain. So yeah, it's definitely on point where it needs to be. Yeah, it's going to be a fun drive. It's definitely a big difference. So you'll find that once you get on the open road and you put your foot down, you're going to have huge amounts of power there.
Holy crap! Yeah, look, put 100 horsepower into a car that's already got 175.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like
It's more than 100.
To make it consistent, that's where that package works with that heat exchanger and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's really important because we can have the power, but how long you have it there for is debatable.
So consistency by meaning up north when it gets hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something that gets monitored on any sort of performance engine, but definitely trying to keep those intake temps down, engine temp down overall.
So you've put the multi-mapping in with the 5 settings?
Yep, so there's 5 settings. It's actually got 6 maps on there. So we've got a designated tow tune, which is exactly the same as the other car, where you have 1 turbo running for tow mode. It eliminates all the surge problem that 300 series are renowned for.
Gotcha.
And it's definitely one of those maps that tow extremely well. We definitely get a lot of
So which setting is that one?
That's on 3.
So that's 3?
Yep.
3 is tow?
Yep.
4 is horsepower?
100%, yep. 5 is just a bit angry. It's got all the functions and launch control and all the
control,
stuff on it.
lumpy cam.
Yeah, that's it. And then
all the cool stuff.
You can go back to stock, which is on map 2.
Yeah,
obviously
gotcha.
we have immobilizer and idle up there as well. Like idle up, I use that a fair bit, especially if I get a flat battery or you're winching. You can keep the idle up around 1500 and it definitely helps.
So that's on 1, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and the immobilizer, meaning as long as I've turned the car off while it's on 1, so I put it to 1, turn the car
actually,
off.
it goes to 0, so you can actually put it to 0.
Yeah.
The car will turn off. You turn the car off, walk away from it, lock it. No matter what you do, unless you put that back on to 1 or one of the other
No one can steal that car.
It will not start. So it's just something there. So that is just a hidden thing that's in there. That's cool. There's a few little functions and features and jumps and all that.
Will that automatically go into that mode every time you stop the engine?
No, you have to physically put it on.
I have to physically do it. Yeah,
otherwise
gotcha.
do it. And also the immobilizer, you can't activate the immobilizer while driving, so it's not like you're going to have the car stop on you all of a sudden.
Yeah,
so,
gotcha.
All these little things are in there.
So as long as I physically do it when I leave the car, you can literally leave the car unlocked, no one can steal it.
That's right.
They just steal stuff out of it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what have you done under the bonnet?
Yeah, so this is our package 3 kit. It's probably our most popular kit we tend to do on the 300 series. It's got a heat exchanger, which again is so very important in the 300 series.
Yep.
Just all those airbox that's in that, and then obviously our exhaust system to suit, and plus the multi-mapping, of course.
So fat snorkel.
Yep.
With the box.
Yep.
Okay, so the airbox. So custom-made airbox, custom-made snorkel. And then you've left the intercooler. So you've left the standard water to air intercooler.
Yeah, so
from Toyota.
It's still water to air.
Yeah.
The heat exchanger is just in parallel with the 2 other existing coolers that are there.
So you put 2 big ones in.
Well, they're actually the factory ones are there. Our one is in the front, which is in front of
so
the
it's just
condenser.
one in the middle.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so you got the 2 on the outside, the 1 in the middle.
Adds more volume of water, which is one way how we get better consistency in cooling.
Yep.
But we have a larger surface area to put that water through, and so therefore we have a lot more consistency. Overall, the factory system holds about 1.7 litres. We add another 5 litres on top of that.
Holy crap, that's massive. So that is
the
massive.
fact that it's only 1.7, it's amazing on a factory 300 series.
Yeah.
Once that gets heat soaked, it's extremely hard to get that temperature out of that water. Especially on a hot day, we see it where they just struggle. And I'll see a lot of comments of people commenting about towing with the 300 series on a hot day and having less and less and less in power. And it's all to do with the intake temps that are starting to rise through the roof. So it's something that is very important.
Can the engine handle this extra horsepower?
Look, time will tell, and that's the honest answer. I believe it won't have a problem. Where we've tuned them, we're still conservative. We're not going too crazy. Yep. But I know 100 horsepower sounds like an extremely big gain, which it is, and it does make a hell of a lot of difference. But a lot of your towing area, in that area around that 1850 where these things work a lot, it's only very minor differences there from where they are from factory form. And we do that to make sure that we still have the torque there, but the consumption and everything else to go with it. So it's sort of like having the cake and eat it. You've got, that area where it's great, and then we've got the higher horsepower when you want.
So the biggest thing I reckon people are going to want to know, how compared to the V8 200, the 200 series V8, and compared to this V6, what is the difference in torque and horsepower between the two? Look, because you've tuned both of them.
Yeah, look, and if we're looking at the 200 series, it really depends on combo that goes in there. But even with the 200 series, with a lot of money spent on it with turbo and injectors upgraded, and then you get something that's comparable like this. Just with these minor mods, we'd have to spend a lot of money on the V8 to get it to that level. right? So straight away off the bat, these things are producing. They're much more efficient engine, and it's really hard to compare the two because you've got 10 years of technology that's poured into this engine over the VDJ. So it's unfair to compare the two engines. Yes, it's smaller capacity. Yes, it's hot B. There's some things about it, but so far with what we've seen with them, they've been unbelievable. And it's a chalk and cheese of engine. I think the VD is not a real efficient engine as far as the diesel goes, but this thing is definitely a completely different beast.
Gotcha. No, sounds good. Well, my wagon, as you know, we tried it out against your wagon, which is, it's a bit of a weapon, but obviously not compared to yours because yours is a lot lighter. This thing being heavier, but this is probably going to perform really well because it's going to be able to tow really well. It's going to be able to go well in the bush. Like the difference is just going to be amazing.
100%. So it's about having, I guess, the best of both worlds. You want to be able to car that tows extremely well, but when you take the weight off or you need to overtake some car, you really want that power to be there. And
100%.
you can flick up to the high map instantly. You don't have to stop the car. You can just flick it up and as you're driving and
then drop back down.
And the power just comes on and away you go. And then once you start cruising again, you can drop it down and away you go from there. So
that's very cool.
There's lots of positives with that. We have many people touring Australia at the moment with that combo, getting really good results. So we're quite proud of that system and how it works.
Awesome, mate. I can't wait to try it out.
Yeah, too easy. All right, let's go.
Bloody awesome. Oh, there we go. We're good. All right, so I was talking about what happens what all goes down in the front under the bonnet, but you forget what goes on at the back. So at the back is an exhaust, so it's a 4-inch exhaust system, okay, stainless steel exhaust system. Comes right to the back here. Have a look at this. Manta are the guys that design these exhaust systems. So in conjunction with Just Autos, obviously Matt's experience with the tuning, he then talks with Manta and then Manta develop a system that works perfectly for that horsepower and that torque and that sort of setup, you know what I mean? So yeah, nice brand new, hot stainless steel exhaust. All right, so phase 1 of the revamp of the 300 is complete. So that's horsepower upgrade. Next step, tyres. Okay, I want to upgrade the tyres and I also want to upgrade the suspension. All right guys, so taking it down to Outback Armour, those guys have just got it off the hoist and what they've gone and done is give it actually a little bit more lift. I think they've put some different shock absorbers on it as well and some heavier coils, so I'm gonna have a yarn to them about that. But I'm just looking at it now. They've even put some different bump stops on it I can see hanging out, which is pretty cool. So let's have a chat to someone who's around. It looks jacked already, I can see the difference. Yeah, so how'd you go, mate?
Yeah, we came up about 25 mil.
25 mil?
Yeah, 25 mil.
Yeah, perfect. That's what I think it needed.
Yeah, that's
yeah. So that gives me that little bit more clearance.
Sweet as.
Did you change any, there looked like a new bump stop there?
We did. We put a new, one of our new bump stops in the back of it.
Yeah,
and we also
cool.
changed the front strut to our new bottom adjustable.
So all the adjustment is at the bottom?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so that's all the rebound, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's predominantly rebound, but you also gain a little bit of compression.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Mate, sounds like it's going to be an awesome rig. All right, I'm going to grab it and take it over to some tyres and wheels now over at Black Bear.
Sweet as.
Thanks, mate.
Have a good one.
Too easy. Let's get out of here. Oh. It's a bit wet out there. How'd you go, mate, with tyres and wheels?
Mate, we're ready to go. We've done something a little different for you about this time.
What'd you do?
Well, the last time we kitted this car out, we went at 285 70/17.
Yes.
This time, we've gone to 35.
That's what I'm here for. That's exactly what I've come for. I was looking at these tyres and I went and actually got a lift done at Outback Armour. And they lifted up a little bit more. And I'm thinking, mate, I want it looking like my 300. You know the 300?
Yeah, the other one we did 35s on.
Yeah, it looks pretty tough. I'm thinking, let's get some 35s on it.
Yep.
All right, too easy then.
Well, we'll get cracking on it.
There they are, all 6 of them. So basically we've gone with the full mud. So Rick always recommends the mud terrain tyre.
Yep.
That's this one here. Have a look at that pattern, mate. Serious bit of grip on that one. So when we were rolling in the Kimberley, the one thing that I noticed was, mate, the amount of, well, you know where we really noticed it? was the Creb track.
Oh,
The
yeah.
amount of traction that we got out of these tyres on the Creb track, especially when you drop the air out, massive amount of traction. Out of the whole series of season 15, I got a nick. Jesse put a slash on the inside of one tyre.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's 20 tyres on the ground rolling, and we literally, and even then we could plug it for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got as far as, you know, probably 2 or 3 days on it, and then we had to take it and we changed it. But out of 20 tyres rolling.
What was that? About 400 Ks, eh? Is it?
Oh, mate, toughest track in Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
400
insane.
Ks, yeah. So
No, that's awesome.
I was very happy with that because I've heard people blowing, like, destroying 10 tyres
Yeah, wow.
on a track like that. So.
No, that's awesome.
So we go with the 35 this year. It's going to be a much bigger footprint. Look at the size of this thing.
Yeah, it's a lot bigger. Roll it up against the car.
And we know they fit. We know they fit. Oh, look at that. Look at the size of that sucker. It's going to be gold.
Yeah, that's insane.
Oh, let's get these suckers on and see how we go.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Look at that.
Leave the 33s on the back and the 35s on the front.
Yeah, there's a thing they call them. They're called squat truck.
Look at the size difference. They look small as.
Oh, let's get the back on and see what she looks like out in the sun, mate.
Rightio.
So we're going to do a little bit of tweaking there where the mud flap is, but other than that, mate, how good does that look?
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
How good does that look? Looks pretty tough.
Yeah, looks heaps better.
How much difference does a little bit of suspension lift and tyres and wheels make? Massive difference.
A lot.
I'm very impressed.
Just a couple mods and she's good to go.
Good job, mate.
Thank you.
No dramas, eh? All right, so off now. I've got to, there's a few little tweaks. There's a bit of electrical going in the back of this thing. We're going to make a few modifications to the canopy's electrical system, which is going to increase its capacity and things like that. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so behind me is the 300 Landcruiser conversion. So I'm going to pop the bonnet. First thing you'll notice here is this little thing here. Check that out, that looks pretty cool. It's got an air box as well, integrated into the snorkel. So this is all part of the conversion that these guys do, okay? So what they're actually doing is, with the power upgrade, Just Autos, give this thing on the dyno 300 horsepower. Like, this thing is an absolute beast. So literally 100 horses goes into this truck. Now, how they do that? Well, they achieve that with a few things. Obviously, they tune it, more fuel, more boost, all that sort of stuff, but they also try and keep the engine temperatures down, or the intake temperatures, using the cooling system here. Now, the new V6 Toyota has what they call water to air. Okay, so there's water flowing through these coolers. So what they've gone and done is they've gone and put a big, huge water to air intercooler in the center, but then plumbed in the two side ones as well. And that's why you see all these vents on the front of all the bull bars, because the 300 needs to get that airflow onto those coolers, which are sitting right there. Well, they've got another big one here. So it's all tucked in there nicely, very neat and tidy. Air box for airflow, the snorkel. So that gives it some serious horsepower. Now, close that bonnet. The reason why I wanted some more horsepower as well is because we've just gone and stuck a set of Black Bear mud terrains 35 by 12.5. Look, basically with that extra horsepower, I don't sort of feel that lag from the 35s. Right, so we've got a set of 35s on it. The other thing that I've gone and done is to accommodate the 35s is the guys at Outback Armour have literally jacked up this thing a little bit more, and they've put what they call their new GVM upgrade kit in it. So it's got that new kit in it. And I tell you what, you can see the lift in it. She's got some jack about it. She's fully pumped, ready for the gym, this one. All right, so have a look inside here, and I'll show you the suspension in a minute. So basically, on the steering wheel, if you have a look here quickly, it's all controlled. It's what they call multi-mapping. So basically I can control it with my steering wheel. So where the cruise control lever is, without being in cruise control, I can just change it. Now the tacho moves. 1 is idle up, 2, standard, 3, tow mode, 4 is power, full noise power, and 5 is launch control and lumpy cam. Hear that? Now that's all coupled with the exhaust system as well. So it's got an exhaust, stainless steel exhaust at the back, so a bigger stainless steel system, just to give it a bit of a note, even though, you know, you've got some DPF swinging off the back there, that's fine, but yeah, it just gives it a bit of a note. So stainless steel system, so it's a complete package, mate, and I'll tell you what, it's got some absolute grunt. So that's it, I just take it out of that mode, bang, I'm gonna stick it in what we call tow mode, so I just whack her in tow mode, and that's it, it's that simple. Now, if you have a look at the suspension, let's have a quick look at the suspension. Now normally these ones you would adjust from the top, but they've changed them now so that this particular strut, okay, so even though it's got the arm, but this particular strut has adjustment down the bottom, so it has compression and rebound. So there's a little dial there, and I'll just have a quick look around. It's on the side here, just in here, and it's got 20 settings, and you can dial it in, and away you go. And basically you can control not only the compression stroke, but also the rebound stroke, which is pretty important when you sort of, you know, you start to load your vehicle differently. I set it because I don't really change it much. So you want to, you know, some people tow not much, you know, they load them up, they don't load them up. This thing's usually fully loaded most of the time and towing. So I just dial her in and away we go. So that's front and rear. All right, so it's the full package now. And mate, I can't wait to get her out onto All for Adventure. And let's see what Jesse reckons, because he's the one that's going to be driving it.